former Reagan economist, Art Laffer. Art, do you have anything that you can tell people that when they're going to the fill up their cars or going to the grocery store today, is there anything on the horizon that tells you that there might be some easing in inflation in the future, regardless of what the Biden administration does?
No, there's nothing I see that would tell me that inflation is going to be brought under control anytime soon. But what I do think is very important, Dana, is what you guys raised in this issue about Janet Yellen, Secretary of the Treasury, and her comments that she was wrong. You know, there's nothing bad about admitting you're wrong when you're wrong. It's nothing bad. God knows I've been wrong a lot of times in my life. The question is, why was she wrong? And why was she wrong? Is it because she's an employee of this administration and therefore is tilting her views towards what they want to hear rather than what she actually believes? And if you are wrong because the facts don't corroborate what you said, with new facts, you should have new policies. You know, I change my mind when facts change, and they don't appear to be changing their mind when facts change. You know, I have never taken a job with any administration ever since the Nixon administration, 1970 to 72, because once you become an employee and once you take a paycheck, you're an employee and you have to support the party line. And that's where I really worry very much about Janet Yellen, is all she's doing is supporting the party line. And that's not a good thing for Biden, for the country, or for anything.
Yeah, Ro Khanna is a progressive from California. Roll this clip here about his idea.
I have called for is doing a lot more with the Strategic Petroleum Reserve. We consume about 20 million barrels a day. The president is releasing 1 million. They need to do it at a much bigger scale, and they need to do it with selling it back at a much larger quantity. And I think if they did that, they could stabilize prices for the short term, for 3 to 4 months.
It's pennies on the dollar, Art, I think, in the end. What struck me about Yellen is how many times she came back to climate change in her testimony. I mean, that goes to your point about her talking about the policies of this administration. And the other thing she said is that it's basically bad everywhere, all over the world. Everybody's having the same problems we are. And don't blame us for the spending that took place last year.
Well, that latter part is completely false. We are the leaders of the world. We're causing it everywhere else. They're following our policies. But selling oil out of the Strategic Oil Reserve is not the right thing to do. The reason we have the Strategic Oil Reserve is in case there's a national crisis of international proportions. It's not to ease the numbers for a political party to gain an election. That's not what this is supposed to be. What they need to do is allow drilling. They need to put in the Keystone Pipeline, XL Pipeline. They need to be friendly to energy, not anti-energy. Solve the problem in the long run, and you'll do a much, much better job. They never should have done what they did. Now that they see the damage that they caused, they should change their policies and undo the mistakes they made. But no, no, no. They don't seem to have any inclination to go in that direction.
On that last point,
all of us told them they were wrong.
Yeah, on that last point, you're exactly right. Back to Yellen from yesterday and that word transitory.
Not anticipating was a scenario in which we would end up contending with multiple variants of COVID that would be scrambling our economy and global supply chains, impacts on food and energy prices we've seen from Russia's invasion of Ukraine.
I mean, there it is, Art. It's there, it's there, it's there. It's everywhere they look.
Yeah, I know.
Everywhere they look.
It's gobbledygook.
And Art,
it's just gobbledygook, Bill.
They're forecasting the grain shortage and the food problems. I don't think that they're effectively working all the angles. Maybe Turkey can help today. I know that they're going to see if they can do something to get these shipments out of Ukraine to come. But the administration, if they underestimate this food problem that's coming, that will be one thing. But I hear in the press secretary's comments and in the Secretary of the Treasury, some even times from the UN, a little bit of acknowledgement that this is going to be a really big problem. And that one is on the horizon as well. You add food shortages to all of this, and it could be very volatile, especially in places in the world that are already on the edge.
Yeah, it's an add-on problem, and they've got a fundamental problem of stagflation. They are lowering their forecast of GDP growth to really low numbers. intolerable numbers for the long run. They're raising their inflation forecast. All this, and then you add on your problems of food problems, strategic oil reserves, all these other silly things on top. They've got a fundamental problem with the model they use for economics. It's not this, that, or the other that I can explain away. They got it wrong, and they were wrong, and now they need to change the policies to reflect that their model didn't work, and now they should put in something that does work. That's what reasonable, rational people would do with new information, but that's not what they're doing.
It makes sense.
And it's terrifying to me.
Art, thank
Great
you
to
for your
have you.
time.
Thank you.
I'm calling you again very soon. Thanks.
Thank
Art.
you very much.
You bet.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brian Kilmeade. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to click to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page. This is the only way that I know for sure that you're not going to miss any great commentary, any great news bites, any great interviews coming your way on Fox. You can get it all here on YouTube. So subscribe right now.